Hello, everyone. Hello. This is LJ Young, the founder of 6ixthCents. I want to welcome you to my channel if you're new. Uh, Sorry it's been so long between videos, but I had to take some time to myself to really think about the purpose of this channel, my intent, my true intent of this channel. And at first, the first few videos were really just talking about the narcissist and what she did and all that good stuff. But my life is so beautiful right now and peaceful and abundant. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Abundant. I'm having so many, nothing but positivity is in my life. It's like to even talk about what the narcissist did brings negativity into my life, and I don't even really even want to talk about her. It really doesn't. I eliminated her and she's gone. So what I'm going to do is talk about what this channel really is and what I discovered, the 6ixthCents. Now, and when I'm talking about the 6ixthCents, I'm talking about the 6ixthCents in the true spelling of the 6ixthCents, right? It is true. It is a mathematical fact, and I can prove this mathematical fact. But that's what it really is. But the 6ixthCents in the spelling of this channel is it's the same thing, but it's how these two came together to discover the 6ixthCents in the spelling of this channel. So we're going to go back to, I'm 54 now today. We're going to go all the way back to somewhere in my mid to early 40s and how I got here. But and this is going to be like a fast track so you guys can understand how I reached this level of the 6ixthCents, which is true. It is true. It's a fact. And the 6ixthCents is psychological, by the way. Let me make sure that's clear. The 6ixthCents is true, it's psychological, and I can mathematically prove it to be true. Okay, so that means it is true. So I remember one day I used to be well, excuse me, let's start here. Around that time, I was a computer engineer for about 15, 20 years, somewhere around there, right? And I remember driving home one day, going to the gym, doing my normal routine, get off work, go to the gym, go home, right? And I remember I got off work, pulled into the gym, and this is in Seattle, Washington, okay? And it started getting dark pretty early around this time. And I just remember this image in my mind because I remember the LA Fitness lights being on, and it was only like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the LA Fitness lights was on. And I pulled into the parking lot and I just stopped in a parking spot. And I just kind of looked at the LA Fitness lights, and I was looking up there and I was like, is this going to be the rest of my life? This is what I'm saying in my car, in my finance Lexus, by the way. Is this going to be the rest of my life? I'm just going to get off work, go to the gym, go home, or sometimes just go straight home and just do this over and over and over until the day I retire. And then I enjoy the life that I really want to live. And I said no out loud in my car. I want you guys to understand this. This is true. When you speak out to the universe, it's for real. Okay. But at the time, I didn't know that. But I was just speaking out loud. I didn't know why I was speaking out loud. Right. But I said, I don't accept that. That's no way. So I'm going to spend my life for the next 30 years at this job. And then I'm going to retire. And then they're going to give me my benefits. And then I'm going to make less. It just didn't make any sense. So I said, I don't accept that. I didn't even know what that meant when I said, I don't know what that, except what? I didn't know, but I said that. Little did I know my life started changing after that moment. I didn't know it was changing. I set the ball in motion without knowing I set it in motion because I spoke it into existence. That's exactly what happened. After that point, I found, now I'm just going fast so you guys can see, I found Dave Ramsey. Now, being a computer engineer, he was very basic. He was like, take the calculator and the baby steps, follow my plan, and you get out of debt and you'll be free. And I was like, let me try that. I just something that, because I was always into trying new stuff. I said, let me try that. Let me see what Dave's talking about. It was easy enough because I was a computer engineer. it's all about math inside of being a computer engineer. You got to know subnet mask, IP addresses. I was always using numbers, calculating, everything's double. It was almost automatic, right? So I did that until I got to the part of Mr. Ramsey's plan where he says, after you pay off all your debt and get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% into retirement. But according to the calculator, when you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit enter, that was a large negative number. So there wasn't 15% of anything to put anywhere. That's when I knew I was onto something, because that didn't make sense. I was like, why would he tell me something that I can't do that's not mathematically true? Oh, that's business. I didn't know it was business at the time, but I just knew something didn't make any sense. So this is where I left Mr. Ramsey's plan, because that part of his plan has nothing to do with me. It's only for people that, and I'm bouncing back and forth. That's only for people that don't trust the calculator. Okay, after that point, if you believe you could, if you're a person that believes you could save for retirement while having a mortgage, when it's mathematically impossible, that's where I leave. So I left that part of the plan. Little did I know, when I paid off all my debt, I was at zero. Now, I remember in elementary school, they taught us all this: zero in the middle, positive numbers on the right in green, negative numbers on the left in red. They taught us all that. I realized this was the first time in my life I was at zero. I had never been out of debt in my entire life. At that moment, I knew the system was different. I knew it was psychological, because this was the first time I owned myself in my life. And I turned around, I'm like, hey, there are millions of people that think like I do still. So I started trying to tell my friends, hey, look what I discovered, man. Things are really not that expensive once you get out of debt. You could see they didn't hear me. I was like, what? Here, let me show the calculator. They still didn't hear me. I was like, something doesn't make sense here. They're not listening. So I just ignored them. So okay, let me just continue on with my journey. Fast forward now, I understand what it really is. The credit report. I discovered my credit report was nothing more than my own owner's ledger. It kept track of all the businesses that owned me. My credit score was nothing more than reward points for staying in debt with the owners listed on my credit report. Now that I'm on the positive side of the economy, I could clearly see that. I never owned myself until now. Now I do own myself. Once I own myself, I have no problems, no debt, no issues, no stress, no nothing. I'm in a place in life that people don't even believe that exists. That you can't. Everybody has problems. No, only people that say it. People that don't have problems, they don't say they have problems. Like, you'll never hear me say I have problems, because I don't have any. I'm in a place that people don't even believe that exists. This is 2000. I'm free about 2017. I'm about age 47 by the time I paid off all my debt and get to the psychological place where I'm at. I'm free. I have absolutely no problems. Now I'm in a point in my life where, hey, let me share this with somebody. That'll be nice to come across a person that could agree with me, and like, hey, this life is good. Look how free you can live when you stress free. While everybody thinks debt and payments are normal, we would be free. Enters the narcissist. Now, at this point in my life, I meet her. I have absolutely no problems in my life. I'm in a wonderful space in my life. No issues at all, none. But I don't know I don't know that narcissist people exist. I don't know that. So when I come in, when I first meet her, I think she can clearly see all the peace and tranquility that I'm offering to this person. But little did I know, she's mirroring me. I didn't know nothing about mirroring. I didn't know people do that. I'm like, damn, wow, she's just like me. No, she's mirroring me to get to me. I didn't know that. So as I get sucked in, I get deeper and deeper and deeper, get sucked in. Now I'm all the way in. I'm in the narcissistic fog. Where everything in the narcissistic fog, everything's the opposite. cheating, lying, hitting, everything that's not supposed to happen in a relationship. Nothing. It's not supposed to happen. Everything like that happens in the narcissistic fog. And and I was in it so long, I started to think it was normal to have fights every week, up and down, uh, causing fights for out of the blue. I thought what that did within my body, it created a drug. I didn't know the body could produce a drug that you could get dependent on, which is the narcissist. I didn't know that until the point to where I had to. The only way I didn't know that none of this existed, right? So much so. Now remember, when I met her, thank God I was a self-confident person already. And the only problem I had in my life was her. I can't even imagine if I had all the other problems, bills, children, payments, job to deal with on top of a narcissist. The only problem I had was her. Thank God. But even then, I had to ask God to help me out. And it wasn't until then he freed me. Soon as I said, God help me, just like I said to get out of debt, the same thing. Same thing. Soon as I said, God help me, he snatched me out, brought me out. Now I'm in front of you today. I thank him every day. My life is quadrupled in positivity, financial gain, everything, everything. So much so I don't even want to talk about the narcissist. Why? I understand that that was my cocoon to discover what I'm in front of you guys right now, the 6th sense, which is true. The 6th sense is psychological, and I can mathematically prove it. Let's start on the physical side because the majority, if you guys have never heard, or I know you guys have heard of the 6th sense, but you don't know what to think. Like, what is that? What is it? Is it some kind of thing you could see with your eyes? No, it's nothing like that. You can't see it. The only way to show you the psychological is mathematical. That is the only way. There is no other way. Here, I'll show you. If you believe you're a homeowner, open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. You see that large negative number? The bank bought you using the house. You can't buy nothing with a large negative number, yet you believe you're a homeowner when the calculator is clearly telling you that you're not. That's called psychological, because the only way to buy a house is with cash. There is no other way to buy a house at all. There's nothing. It doesn't exist. I didn't know that when I was in this under that psychological spell. I didn't know a mortgage couldn't buy a house. I did not know that. Nobody told me it took one day to buy a house. But why does somebody have to tell me? Because I didn't know. It's the 6th sense. Millions of people believe they own houses with mortgages. Millions of people believe they own equity in a mortgage house. Now we come to the other side, what I just learned, what the narcissist brought me into. There are millions of narcissists. Now that I've personally experienced one, I know all the traits. I know how they talk, no self accountability. Hey, here's a classic. I'm sorry you feel that way. They all say that. But this is what you guys need to understand. They don't know that they say that. That's a power. That's a power that I gained from being with one of the worst narcissists ever made. To me, she was physically violent, emotionally, everything you can think of. And then when I left her, she cried. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But that's how you know that's a narcissist. Now that I'm out of it, I understand that there are millions of narcissists. They're everybody: man, woman, children, grown-ups, mom, dad, whatever. It could be anybody. It doesn't matter. But they don't know that I can see them now, just like they don't. Debt slaves are the people that believe they can own with no money of their own, buy cars with no money, buy houses with no money, own property with no money. Those are called debt slaves. They don't know that people like me exist. They don't know that the 6th sense exists. They don't know that. Narcissists do not know that I can see them because they don't know. Listen, this is why they don't know. In order for a narcissist to know that they are a narcissist, that will take self-reflection, self-accountability, which everybody that has experienced a narcissist, you know for a fact that they don't have it. It doesn't exist. Therefore, it's a weakness for them. They don't know. So they're going to go continue on saying and doing the things that they do because they think it's normal. It's normal in their world, no different than in the debt matrix. They believe it's normal they think it really does take 30 years to buy a house. What I do there to help people out of the debt matrix, which once I belonged, which once I owned myself, got out of that, then and only then did I discover the 6ixthCents. Then and only then. But first, I had to own myself. First, I had to know that I didn't own myself. There are millions of people that do not own themselves and they do not know it. If you're one of those people, you're like, what do you mean, do I own myself? Go log into your online credit report and look up your total debt. That's how much it costs to own the business of yourself in the United States of America. Your social security number is the EIN number for the business of yourself. That's how it works. I didn't know that. If I never owned myself, I wouldn't be on in front of you guys in this camera talking about now I discovered the 6ixthCents. And remember, the key word is discovered. That means it was already here. Just like capitalism is psychological too. What do I mean? Capitalism is psychological, right? What do I mean? You can't buy a house with a mortgage, yet millions of people believe they do. That's the psychological part. You can't do that. It doesn't take 84 months to buy a car. What does that mean? 99% of everything you see is owned by the bank. That's what that means. If you're making payments, that's a sign that you don't own nothing. That's what that means because you're making payments to the owner. You think they know that? Absolutely not. What do? I give you the blueprint to get out of it, just like I did. I give you the mathematical exact blueprint to escape, to understand the 6ixthCents exists. And then when you come here, your whole world will change forever. Once I became debt free in my mid 30s, excuse me, mid 40s, I worked for one more year. Do you know my view of a job completely changed forever? Once I freed myself, I realized that 99% of the people at jobs are there because they have to be there because they're in debt. I didn't know that till I became debt free. And then you hear the chitter chatter. The psychological is a language that people in debt and the people that don't know, they don't know that it exists. They don't even know. You can just hear them at work. Hey, I got a second mortgage and this and that. 2 mortgages on one house. And they think they still own it with 2 mortgages. That's the psychological. They don't know. That's how it works. But then I bring you to the positive side. Capitalism is psychological. It has 3 parts: psychological, positive, and negative. I bring you from the negative side to the positive side. Where I'm at, taxes are my friend. Taxes are beautiful. The banks are nice. Everybody's cool. This allows me to spend as much time as I want in the 6ixthCents. Allows me because it allowed me to break the 40-hour work week program. Yes. There are 7 days. This is what I didn't realize when I was in the 40-hour work week program. There's 7 days in a week, and my employer owned 5. That didn't even wake me up. It's clear as day to day now that I'm out of it. Once I got out of it, I realized what the clock really is. The clock is a tool because I needed it because I had a job. I need to know what time I get. I need to know what time I need to go to work, go to lunch, get back from work, take a break, come back from break. Without that, I wouldn't be able to do my job. So I needed the clock. Once I got rid of the job, I got rid of the clock. I didn't need it. I didn't know that until I escaped. And when I say, let me make sure I'm clear with this. And when I say escaped, nobody kept me there but me. Why? Because I didn't trust the calculator. And when I was at the job for that year, I felt like a caged animal, something that didn't bother me at all. I was used to going into the office, sitting in my cubicle for 8 to 9 hours, working, looking at a computer screen all day, get up, go to lunch, come back, redo it for another few hours. I thought that was cool. But after I freed myself, I couldn't take it anymore. So I quit. I didn't even know why I quit. I just had to quit. I couldn't take it. I started adding up the time it took me on the road to get to work, and I wasn't getting paid for it. And then the time to get back, it was horrible. The traffic, all that. Once I got out and I said, oh, that's why I was in traffic. Car payments. I was in the very thing in traffic, in the very thing I was making payments on the very thing causing me to be in traffic. Ain't that crazy? I didn't know that. Now that I understand the 6 cents and will tell you what I just told you, capitalism is psychological, positive and negative. Billions of people don't know that. Billions with a B, because capitalism is all over the world. So with the 6 cents, it's easy to read people now. Very easy. Especially because they don't know that it exists. So they say things, especially narcissists. They're really easy to spot because they can't really hold their mask. Put it this way, narcissists, this is what I've realized too, since I can see narcissists now. Uh when I notice them, I will look at them in their eyes without breaking contact, without breaking eye contact. That's in a way so they know they're not fooling me or tricking me or something like that. No matter what they look like, what they're wearing, what their age is, if she's a woman, or it doesn't matter. The 6 cents is a clearly clearly a gift from God, clearly. So what does that mean? I will never abuse it ever. I had to earn it. The only way I was able to earn it, I had to make it through the narcissistic fog. That was the only way. It was horrible. That was absolutely. But it reminds me of I remember when I didn't before understanding the 6 cents, I remember hearing uh like sayings like you got to be stripped of everything. Everything got to be taken away from you. Everything got to be stripped. And that is exactly what happened to me when I left the narcissist. When I left the narcissist, I got away and I said, you know what? I don't. When you leave, next thing you know, you're going to be like, oh, I want my stuff back and this and that. Well, you got to remember the narcissist knows that you want your stuff. So that's the next thing they're going to move to is your stuff. Anything that's going to keep you attached because they need your energy. They need it somehow. So if holding your stuff is going to get your energy to get the emails and the texts and the phone calls, that's what exactly they're going to use. So I said to myself, I'm ready to let go of everything. She can have it all. I don't care. She can have it all. Once I did that and left it in God's hands, I can't really explain to you the things that happened after that. I can't even. I put it in God's hands and I stepped out of it. And when I say stepped out of it, no calls, no emails, no looking at not even stuff that she could possibly know. I wasn't even looking at pictures, nothing. Because what I didn't realize is it's energy. Now that I know 6ixthCents is true, everything is energy. Here, let me give you an example. Say like you got away from the narcissist and you're just trying to recover, right? And you're slowly recovering, and then you look at a picture of you two. Okay. You feel the energy that goes through you. There's an energy that goes through you. You're like, oh my God, whatever that is, right? If you had not looked at that picture, that energy wouldn't have never existed. Do you understand? That's how I looked at it. Once I did that, it helped me recover faster. Because you can't control the things that are going on in your mind, but you can control the physical things, the pictures, the old memories of you two going to a place. Don't look at any of it. Don't look at, because one day you'll look at it and you won't even care. You go look back at it and say, oh, that was fun when we went there, but you won't attach emotions to it. And you got to realize, understand, of course that's going to happen. All you got to do is think about a relationship 20 years ago. How do you feel about that relationship? This will be the same thing. Because in my perspective, because that's the wonderful thing about the 6ixthCents, because it's a place, just like the physical world, it has millions of perspectives, millions. Like, let me give you an example of what you guys know. There are millions of perspectives when it comes to capitalism. You can ask each person, what's your view on capitalism? Each of them are going to have a different view when there's only one. There's only the mathematical perspective is the only perspective when it comes to capitalism. That's the only perspective. But there are millions of people that have their own. Millions of people believe they can buy a house with a mortgage when there's only one way, cash. There's only one way. But each person believes they can buy a house different than the next. How would you buy a house? How would you buy a house? How would you? Each person would say a different thing when there's only one. The psychological part is that they don't know that they say that. Just like when you come to a narcissist, hey, and they say, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way, narcissist. Because when you're genuine, you say sorry to somebody. I don't say, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. I say, hey, I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry. Only narcissists talk like that. And then you're left confused. Sorry that you get that look on you. Sorry that you feel that way. This is why you get that look and you're confused, because that's the purpose of a narcissist. They are there to suck your energy. You have to cut them off. Once I cut the narcissist off, and then I went back and listened to all the voicemails and stuff, crying voicemails and crying emails. They just look weird to me. They just look like they come from a disturbed person, because that doesn't make any sense. But that's their. You got to remember that's the narcissist perspective of the world: cheating, lying, hitting, bringing home diseases, all that stuff, and think it's normal. And then come home and listen. Then come home and kiss you in the mouth and think nothing of it. Ain't that messed up? I'm sure that happened to me many times, many times. I used to see marks on her body too. I used to, hey, where'd you get that mark from? Oh, I don't know how I did. Yeah, okay. But I understand now I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have that experience. So I thank God for the experience, because she's out of my life now forever. Nothing but positivity, and the most wonderful gift of them all, the 6ixthCents. I would have never come to discover this God-given gift, I would have never in a million years. I had to go through something that first you got to know. First, I had to know I was in it, and then I realized I believe. Then I realized a lot of people don't make it out. A lot of people get stuck. Hey, I've been with her or him for 10 years. I got kids by him. I might as well stay. And then the time is ticking. You know how clear, you know how that is so crystal clear for me to see today. I see it on Facebook. I see it on Instagram. It's bad on social media. Social media is bad. You got millions of people that do not know the sixth sense is true. Millions. Billions of people don't know that. There are very few people like me, very few. It's now that I know, I always think like how many people that did I encounter knew, you because you don't know. You don't they don't it's not a specific look. You don't look like anything, right? How many people knew Sixth Sense exists that came across my life? They're not going to tell me. You can't tell people that don't know it exists. You can't talk to them. They don't know. What's up, Island High? How you doing? Welcome. I had to This is why I had to do this channel. It's almost like my savings minus debt channel. I had to do that type of channel because very few people understand that capitalism is psychological. And then even fewer people understand that Sixth Sense is true. Sometimes I wonder, like, for example, there are many people with gifts, okay, many, right? But there are very there I haven't seen anybody that could actually they could show you their gift or do it right, but like prove that it's a gift, like show me that it's a gift. God blessed me with that part of my gift that I can prove it with mathematics to be true. And and something came to me not too long ago. It came to me just like this: all humans make mistakes. All humans make mistakes. So that means, and this is my opinion, that means the only person that could have created math is God, because math doesn't make mistakes. Math is perfect. Nobody in the world can have an opinion on math. Nobody. Therefore, nobody in the world can break the laws of mathematics. Nobody. That's the same thing with Sixth Sense. Once you, once I discovered this, it's almost like um, a gift with a responsibility, because with this gift you could easily take advantage of people, easily, because they don't know that it exists, so they're going to speak, act, and talk a certain way. But I guess when you reach this level, you understand what it takes to reach here, and you cannot, no, not really, you cannot reach to this point with any negativity at all, any fears, anything with inside of you. I call those fears false evidence appearing real psychologically. So fears that you didn't take care of, unless you're free physically and internally, you can't be here. Okay, no negativity, no deceit, no coming behind people to try to sneak and steal the money and stuff. None of that. You can't. None of that comes here. That stays there. Like, put it this way. What my plan is to do this so you guys can understand this. What my plan is to do is build a tax firm. Now you're probably saying, well, LJ, are you a tax professional? No, but I'm going to own it. But I'm going to fill it with tax professionals that understand that capitalism has three parts: psychological, positive, and negative. It will be the best, it will be one of the best tax firms in the United States of America and then the world. Why? Because the capitalism is all over the world. How do I know that? Because it's mathematically true of what I'm saying. This is the same with this is the same with being able to see millions of narcissists now at work, in business. They're everywhere, especially in business. You can see them. You can tell by the way they talk, how they respond in emails. It's like that's really not professional. Narcissists. I just see them and then I remove them. I don't explain anything. That's not my job. They have to figure out if they're a narcissist or not. That's not my job. I just been blessed by God to be able to have the gift to see them now. Because when I first, I didn't see that. When I look at her now, I could see her. Of course, it's like everything. I could see everything from the beginning. I can go all the way back to the beginning of the relationship and see where it started by the things she said, act. They just do weird shit. They do stuff that just shock you out of the blue. You're like, "Bro, what? Where'd that come from?" That's what they do. Just that's on purpose to shock you, like to see what you're gonna do, to see how you're gonna respond to whatever they come up with. Now that I see that, I call them on it. Hey, why'd you do that? And you know how the narcissists try to blow it off, make, oh, that wasn't really nothing. And then you stop the whole thing. Stop. It was something. And you're going to tell me what it was. You're never talking to me again. So what was it? We're not going anywhere. We're not talking about anything after this. What was that? If they still go on and on, goodbye. That's somebody. Narcissists are always going to be somebody else's problem now in my life, in every part of my life. Well, they'll never reach to me personally. That'll never happen. But they'll be in business. I love shooting them down in business. That shit is fun to me. I shoot them down with professionalism, but that's what I shoot them down with. And let me explain something to you guys too, so you guys can get the whole what will your life will be when you discover the sixth sense too, if you wish, because I can help you do that. Now that I'm debt free and I own a business, it's the same thing, but better. The business world is not like what you learn in school and all that other stuff. It's not like that. The same way you see the bank own all the millions of debt slaves personally, it's the same thing in business. They own them there too. They got loans on their businesses. It's the same thing. They're owned. They don't know what their credit reports really are. They don't. Those are their papers. They don't know that's their papers. It's psychological. They brag on it. They think it's something. I don't know. I didn't build that part. Capitalism was here before I was born. So it's been here for quite a while. I don't know about any of that. It was just already here. This is why I'm the only person on the internet that shows my entire credit report. It proves those are my papers. That means I own myself. I own the business of myself in the United States of America. Therefore, I own the business outside of myself as well. Because you cannot own a business in the United States of America if you don't own the business of yourself first. I did not know that. I didn't know that until my 40s. I didn't know that. I didn't know the reason why I hated taxes as a worker, because I was using myself to participate in our economy. Of course, I'm going to be taxed. Of course, I'm using myself. So all I did was remove myself and insert a business with no debt. Therefore, taxes are my friend, personal and business. All my friends. Therefore, your competition in your business, they will not be able to hang with you and they won't understand why, because they're in debt and you're not. That's why. There's a such thing in business called phantom income. Phantom income. Let me give you an example. Say like you're in the same business with somebody and you buy a particular product and it costs $100 to buy this product. So you're going to you guys go to a warehouse, this product, and let's go 1,000. $1,000 for a pallet board of this product for blah, 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 company, this and that, right? Here inserts the difference. How is that $1,000 purchase being purchased for the company? Is it being purchased on credit or is it being purchased in cash? Because the person that buys the product in cash is going to make more profit than the person who financed it. Because it's the product plus the percentage rate on their credit card and how long they pay on it. So the same business that pays it in cash is going to profit more. That's called phantom income. But on the books, you can't tell. It looks the same, but it's not. It's not the same. You can't see that when you're in debt personally in business, because when you come from personal over to business, and guess what else? And you carry the same traits, but guess what else that comes with it? Here's the psychological part: stress. So you got stress from your bills, personal, and you got stress from your. None of that exists in the 6ixthCents. Once you discover this, no stress, no negativity at all. I have no negativity at all in my life. None, zero. I don't allow it. None of it exists. I sleep 8 to 10 hours a day because my brain loves it. Listen, my brain loves all that sleep, loves it, loves that sleep. Hey, listen, I did not know when I was in the debt matrix. They always say, hey, work, 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 do this. Totally forgetting about you. I totally forgot about my brain. I'm gonna share this with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys. Say like you're a person right now that works a ton of overtime, uh, weekends, constantly working, constantly stressed out, barely getting any sleep, but you're doing it week after week after week after week. Look what your brain is doing on little bit of sleep, with stress, with problems, with all the stuff that comes with it. Imagine what your brain can do with none of that involved. None of it. That's where I'm at. That's it's the same thing. Plenty of sleep, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, no problems, no stress, no bills, no debt, no nothing. Now imagine that. It's true. That's the only reason why I discovered the 6ixthCents. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why I'm here. My experience with the narcissist was my cocoon. That's the only reason why I could get here. That's the only way. I now understand that millions of people don't make it out the narcissistic fog, and many do other things that are make them no longer be here with us. That's how bad it is. That was horrible. Most definitely only the strong survive that. I'm here to help you be strong because you need help. They're not there. Let me put it this way. There is no other channel on the internet like this on any platform. Everything I say, I can prove. God blessed me with that gift. Just so you guys can understand what I mean. It's not, oh, that's his opinion, that's his outlook. That's just like saying, if I said, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, and you said, oh, that's just his opinion, that's his outlook, oh, that's just the way he looks at things. That's how it sounds. Doesn't even sound right, right? Because it's not. Now, when I'm out in public, you think I talk like this and tell people? No, absolutely not. You guys can't see me unless I say something. People like me are invisible to you. Here, let me give you an example too. Here's a great example. Say like you own a business and you're having a problem with employee theft of money, and you just cannot figure out who's doing it. I can figure that out for you very easily. Why? Because I know capitalism has three parts: psychological, positive, and negative. Only debt slaves steal money, paper money, because this is how I want you guys to see it. Google how much it costs to print money, to print $100 bill. It costs pennies. So if a person risks going to jail over something that costs pennies, that means they're a debt slave. They don't understand. That's what that means. So they're gonna have a pattern. So the first thing I'm gonna do is look at the credit report. It will reflect that. Like if there's financial scammers listening to this now, I could tell you the first place I'm gonna look is your personal credit report. Why? Because that's where you guys usually start, with yourself. Start scamming in your own name until you ruin it, and then that's when you go outside yourself and start using other people's names. But you always start with yourself first. That's where I'm gonna start. You're probably asking, nobody's ever did that. Nobody's ever looked at. I know that. Because they don't know. That's why. That's why they don't look there. That's the first place I'm gonna look. Your credit report will match how you live your financial life, what you're doing in your life. It'll tell me about you. Did you guys know that? You guys probably didn't even know that. Your personal credit report will tell me everything about you. That's how the bank looks at it too. And they treat you accordingly with interest rates and stuff like that. When you come and understand how the 6ixthCents work, the banks are not, I'm not saying never get a business loan, but if I have to go get a business loan, I'm hiring a lawyer so the bank understands that I'm not a debt slave. That's all. If I buy a house, I'm gonna hire a lawyer to do that. I'm not doing it. I don't know anything about it. The lawyer is also going to understand that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative, so he could talk to the bank, unlike millions of other lawyers cannot. It doesn't even matter if the lawyer has been in finance for 30, 40 years. If they don't know that, they don't know that. You come here, own yourself, leave the narcissist, discover peace every day. I mean, I live in Washington State where it rains a lot. I don't even care if it rains. It's just, I got so much peace now. My life is just, I don't care what the narcissists are doing. I'm just happy she's not with me. I thank God for the experience. I thank God for blessing me with the 6ixthCents gift. I'm waiting to see what his plans are to do with me with this gift that billions of people don't know what a B would be. You know how long it took me to even come on camera and come into acceptance of that, that took me a minute, man. That's why I wasn't on this channel for a while, because I had to really think about the purpose of this, the true purpose of this channel. And the true purpose of it is the sixth sense. It is true. I had to learn to readjust in, like, in public, when you're in crowds and stuff like that, when people be doing frenzy. It's that's the best way I can explain it, because you don't really have to do any of that stuff. But when you're caught up in it, you just don't know until you're out of it. But since I have so much peace in my life, I really don't I really realize how many people don't have peace in their life, right? And since they don't have peace, I don't want them involved in my life like that, because they don't know that they don't have peace. They don't know that you can have peace in your life, that you can have absolutely no problems, absolutely no debt without being rich and all this other stuff. Because that's all they talk about, their problems and their debt, when they don't know they can. But at the same time, it has the way capitalism is created, it has to be that way. It has to be that way. But you don't have to be on the negative side of it. You can be on the positive side of it. But what I'm trying to really push to you guys is the peace that comes with it. Because when I first got debt free, I felt this kind of overwhelming peace, and then I started craving more of it, right? Because it was easier for me to see the things that was preventing me from 100% peace, right? It was easy to identify, because when you're immersed in all these problems, I just thought my whole world was just, everything's filled with problems. No, it was just me. I just had to start eliminating the problems. And then once I started doing that, the clouds started clearing. And then it was easily to identify the things that were preventing me. And my main thing was the narcissist. Thank God she was the only problem in my life. Right. And like I said earlier, I feel kind of bad for people that have multiple problems in their life, including and the narcissist is also included in that, which has got to be a very horrible thing, because mine was, like I said, she was physically violent. But anyway, what's up, capers? What's how I too did not know about narcissists. I learned this from a homeless woman when I was working at the shelter. Oh wow, okay. I agree now. I understand why people end up homeless. Yes, exactly, because of debt. It's mainly because, now that I understand how it works, it's the majority because it's debt. Clearly, the majority of people are never going to wake up, or they're going to wake up and it's too late, right? They're going to realize at the end of their life that they never really owned a home. They shouldn't have carried student loan debt their entire life. They should have paid it, went to college 4 years, but kept their student loan their entire life. They're going to wake up, but it's going to be too late, because they're not going to be making the money that they made when they were younger, right? Because regardless, they're like, oh, there's not supposed to be age discrimination, but everybody knows the truth. They're not good. The companies want young talent that they can train to do what they want. They don't want somebody coming in, oh, that's not the way I did things. I did it this way for 25 years. And no, they don't want to do all that. They want to hire young, trainable, brand new debt slaves. But like I said, this channel was more for sharing people my journey, because I'm brand new. This is brand new, discovering the sixth sense, brand new. Um, I'm not saying that I don't think I could ever know it all. Nobody could ever know it all. That's impossible, because the universe is unlimited. So that's impossible. But I'm ready for the journey. It's already a beautiful thing to be able to hear a lot of things that a lot of people can't hear. That is a beautiful thing. It's pretty crazy, but it's like I'll give you an example. Like when people use the word buy, hey, I bought a house and they financed it with a mortgage. They don't know that they're saying buy. They don't know that they're not buying anything, and they're using the wrong word when they're saying it too, but they don't know that. But that's a and on the 6ixthCents side, when I hear people say everybody has problems, everybody has debt, everybody has a something, and it's not true. Even if I said, "Hey, that's not true. I don't have," they would come up, "Oh, you don't have problems because this, that, and this." So I'm not going to say anything. I wouldn't say anything in public anyway. I would talk on a mic. I would talk in an event, but what I'm going to share with on this channel is going to be strictly on the channel. It's clearly going to be able to change a lot of people's lives, help a lot of people. Um, even with I know I'm going to be able to help a lot of people about narcissists. That's a fact. When you want to come here and ask some questions about that, clearly I'll be able to, because I got in depth, in depth, in depth experience with a horrible one. Yeah, with a bad one. She was bad. She was bad. I mean, it's now when I think about it, I feel bad for her actually, because she's stuck in that narcissistic world that they believe is the world. It's crazy that it's normal to cheat and lie and just make up stories, and that's got to be a horrible place to be, because you know a person like me, I don't live like that. I don't naturally lie to people. It just that don't even make any sense to me. So I'm walking around in my world believing that everybody thinks the same, that they don't know. But mine was a pathological liar. She was really bad about lying. She lied about so much stuff. It was horrible. What's up, QJC? What's going on? The topic of mortgage on social media is becoming a big thing now. Within 2 years of financing a home, people have mortgages. Sure will. I think it's put it like for here. Let me give you an example about the 6ixthCents, like the stock market. Okay, the stock market is a place where the rich understand that it's almost like the bank, they know they can go there to get a loan from the bank indirectly. What do I mean? Debt slaves have no money at all to buy anything. So in order for them to invest, they must borrow the money from the bank in the form of credit cards, margin, whatever. It doesn't matter as long as it's coming from the bank. That money goes to buy stocks. So hence the companies are getting getting loans from the bank indirectly, and everybody makes money, including the bank, except the debt slave. Debt slaves don't make no money. They're paying interest. They're investing with loans and stuff like that. They don't know. So therefore, the stock market. So if I wanted to put it this way, when I'm ready to invest in the stock market, I'm going to find or create. I'm going to find. If I don't find them, I'm going to create them. A very smart investor that does not know capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. And then I'm going to teach this person that. And then they're going to become 100 times better at what they already are good at instantly. As soon as they understand what I'm telling them, they're going to instantly become 100 times better. And then I'm going to say, okay, from now on, for you to repay me, you do all my investing for free. You just do it. Do it for free, because that person's going to make millions of dollars with their own investing firm or whatever they're going to do. So now I'm going to have a person that's going to invest my money for me. And they're going to do it right because they're going to know they're going to know how the true stock market works, not the one that the dead slaves can see. That's what comes with the gift. You can see what millions of people cannot. Like, so for a debt slave that might come in and listen to this, they're like, what does that mean? I can't invest if I'm in debt. Say like you have $5,000, but you have $5,000 that you want to invest in the stock market, but you have $50,000 in student loan debt. So you take the 5,000, you go ahead and invest it, and it happened to be a win and it doubled, and you got $10,000, and you probably say, hey, LJ, what are you talking about? I won. What? I got $10,000. But if you go all the way back to the beginning and open up the calculator, put in 5,000 minus your student loan debt, 50,000, you will clearly see that's negative 45,000. You don't have any money to invest in anything. That's the psychological part. But since you didn't know that, you borrowed the $5,000 to invest into the stock market. That's what you did. What's up, reigning woman? How you doing? So, with this knowledge combined with the 6ixthCents knowledge, you can do anything you want, be very successful, wealthy, whatever, and they won't know how you're doing it, but you are going to be participating in the same economy, but positively with this gift. Free, totally free. Can you imagine that? I couldn't imagine this type of peace. I couldn't imagine this type of gift, what I can do, what I can see. I could do anything. The only person that was limiting me, was myself. That was it. Do you guys understand? There are very few people in the world that know that 6ixthCents exist. Very, very few. Very few. Why me? I don't know. Don't know that yet. I'm sure I'm going to find out. I had to be prepared for what I'm telling you guys today. This took 10 years to come to this conclusion. 10 years. Is it beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. It's most definitely, I know it's most definitely to help people, because this will if you're a person with low self-confidence and probably think, oh, I'm not attractive like other people, and all of that will change. All of it will change. You'll discover yourself. You'll be whatever you choose to be. You won't care about what anybody thinks, especially from people that don't own them, that don't know themselves like you, that don't know a 6ixthCents exists. They don't matter, especially the opinionated people. It doesn't matter. Especially this generation now. All you guys, not all you guys, but the majority of you guys with social media, your self-confidence depends on likes and comments and responses. That's a very, very bad thing. Very bad. First, I'm here to help you escape the narcissist. You got to get out. Either you know you're in it, you know something's wrong, you can't figure it out. Why is this person that loves me is not treating me right, etc., etc. Once getting out of debt matrix, trust and believe me, you don't think about you don't think about money the same. Money is just a tool, and not yet exactly. And I'm not rich. Just wait till you guys discover the 6ixthCents, though. SMD family members. Oh man, mm. It's like the Matrix movie, 1999. That's exactly what it's like. You now understand that They were doing in that 1999 Matrix movie, they were doing their best to explain the psychological. And when you see in the movie, when you see them running up walls and do all that other stuff, now you got to think logically. You know that stuff is movies, right? Because that's physically impossible. You can't do that. But what they're trying to say in the movie is psychological. When you understand this, you can do that. That's what it feels like. They're trying to illustrate that you can do anything. Anything is possible psychologically, anything. But you have to know, like I know it's only it's only a matter of time that it's only a matter of time. I didn't even know I was going to come to I did not know I was going to discover this. Did not know. When I first decided I was going to get out of debt, I did not know I was going to discover the 6ixthCents. I knew I kind of have it had an idea when I started reading Einstein quotes and adding to them. Looking at Einstein quotes and saying, "You know what? I can make that a little more clear." Einstein quotes. When Einstein says, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. I can most definitely explain the 6ixthCents to a 6-year-old. Most definitely savings minus debt for sure, for sure. And the reason why I believe, and the real reason why I believe Einstein says that, because a 6-year-old mind has not been taken over by the world outside the house yet. Okay, it's not work at 7 days a week and get the money. They don't know any about that stuff. They don't know nothing about that. So their mind is still open enough to, because they all they do is imagine. So they would really accept easily, because since it's psychological, they could easily accept it. That's the real reason why I think he said that. Not because, oh, it's so simple that a 6-year-old can understand it. No, it's that a 6-year-old's mind has not been taken over yet by the outside world. So you can easily explain it to them. Look, positive, here's the zero in the middle. Positive numbers on the left are in green, negative numbers on the right in red. This means this is bad, this is good. And they'd be like, oh, okay. Now we're going to show mommy and daddy's calculator, right? We're going to put in their mortgage payment minus their mortgage balance and hit equal. Then you turn to the 6-year-old and show them the large negative number. You say, where on the graph does this number go? And then they're going to go, oh, that's way down there in the red, way down there. Yes, exactly. You can't buy a house with negative money. No. Mm-mm. But your parents believe they did. Oh, how, mommy and daddy? How'd you guys? I'm just joking. I'm going a little too far, but you know what I mean. You get the point. Anyway, if you have any questions, I put the link down there. This is the first. I I consider this the first official day of coming into my new. As soon as this car goes by, coming into my new found gift. I'm excited to help millions of people. I'm very excited about that. Um, I'm excited to see what I'm gonna discover when I travel around the world helping people. I'll be able to visit different economies. I'm excited about that. See how different economies work. Because you, in order for it to really understand an economy, you can read about it all you want, but you can't know unless you're there. Because there are things that, just like here, books are not going to tell you. There's no book that I know of that says capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative until I write it, which is a mathematical fact. That's wild. Definitely, definitely not the 6ixthCents for sure. It's a beautiful thing. I tell you that. Very beautiful. It's an adjustment, though. It is an adjustment. I'm excited to talk to like psychologists and stuff just to see what they have to say. I'm curious. I talked to a I talked I talked to my tax person the other day. First time I said, "Hey, I got a question to ask you." I said, "Did you know that people in debt, they can't lower themselves in their tax bracket?" She was like, "What? What you talking about?" So I got on the phone with her. I said, so say like you had a person that decide they want to invest $5,000 into their 401k, which they can take that $5,000 and put drop themselves in the tax bracket, blah 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 blah. And she goes, "Yeah, you could do that." I said, "But let's go back to the beginning." So say like that person had a $50,000 car loan. If you put in 5,000 minus 50,000, that's negative 45,000. You can't, that means they have no money to put in anywhere. She pauses for a long time. And I already know this pause, why she's pausing, but she's never heard anybody say it like this. She says, oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, what am I saying? She's like, oh, you're saying if they don't have the capital, they can't invest into the retirement. I said, exactly. And she was kind of like stuck like, oh, okay. Right. But that's the power of it, the psychological part of it. They can say it. I can have a tax professional say it, even say what I said the exact way I said it, but in a different way, and still not get it. The light still doesn't go off like, wait a minute. If that's true, that means millions of people can't do it. Correct. Millions of people, they think they are, but they're not. They don't know that they're not. That's the psychological part. Same thing with 6ixthCents. People don't know they don't have to be with horrible people. You don't have to be with somebody that hits you and talks negative. There are people that don't do that. I'm one of those people. Here's a real good one. Now I'm single, a single person who is free, that has found itself, that has found 6ixthCents, and has found peace and tranquility. The woman that I meet, she has to have found herself too. I'm not accepting anything less than that. If she doesn't know what that means, that's too bad. I'm not explaining that. But when I say it, she will go, I have, because I understand that this cannot be fake. Now, you're probably saying, well, Linnell, anybody can just say I have. No, you have to, I have is just the first part. You got to speak the language next. And people that lie and fake, they can't fake something that they don't know that exists. Do you guys understand that? You can't, if you don't know that it exists, you can't fake it because you don't know that it exists. She have to have found peace within herself already, solved all the external and internal stuff, whatever that is. Because I'm not letting anybody disrupt my peace. I had to earn it. I had to earn this peace. This wasn't free. It took a lot of hurt and pain and death of ego to reach here. The death of ego experience is real. That is 100% real. What the death of ego really means, in my opinion, it's never really dead. I'm just aware of it now. Before I was clearly not aware of ego, clearly, because I was caught up in the world talking about, oh, stuck on yourself. You think highly, you think you're fine, and everybody, no, it's not like that. That's the one millions of people think it is, but it's not that. I'm aware of ego because every now and then I'll use ego, but I am fully aware that I'm using it. Sometimes I should, sometimes I shouldn't use it, but sometimes I use it on purpose. But when I'm done, I put them away. Ego doesn't run my life anymore because that would disrupt my peace. And I don't let anybody disrupt my peace, especially with earning this gift. I'm never going to disrespect my gift ever. This gift is to help people free themselves, feel the same peace, show them that it does exist, show them that you can live in a place of full of love, love only. You don't have to walk around talking about I don't trust anybody. You don't have to live like that. It's not about having to trust anybody. All you got to do is just be aware. You don't It's not even about trust. You just watch them. A fake person, they can't last a month or two being fake. They're going to break off. And then they're going to expose themselves. And as soon as they do, you just see them and acknowledge it. Hey, why you do that? Why you say that or whatever? And they pretend like they didn't do it. They're cut off. Goodbye. I've done that a couple times already since I've discovered I can see narcissists. I've done that a few times, about 3 times now. I don't explain anything. I just leave because they don't know. You got to remember, narcissists don't know that they're narcissists, so they're going to continue the cycle over and over and over again because they don't know. That's their problem. Narcissists can feel me now. You guys understand that? They can feel me. They know when I look at them, stare at them. They know. They know. All I got to do is hear them talk, and I'll know immediately. I don't know at what degree because I'm not with them. I'll never know at what degree a narcissist is because I'll never be in a relationship with one again ever in life. All right. I am I'm excited about this. This reminds me of when I first started savings minus debt. It really does. It reminds me of that. This is exciting, but this is going to be much bigger. This is what I've been looking forward to. But I had to come into the acceptance of a God given gift, which is the 6ixthCents, the name of this channel, but my own combination of the two, which is also a God given gift too. All right, well, until next time, if you guys want some more lives, make some. You guys can put in some comments, but I will be doing more lives. Period. But I got to get me a new laptop first. But getting tired of using my sister's. All right. Until next time. Later.